you're going to get knocked down. And that's just a fact. And that's okay too, because everybody does. And I think that we're living in a society where people are comparing themselves to other people that are on social media. And social media, for the most part, what you see on Instagram and the lifestyle and all that stuff, you don't see the real side of it. You don't see the amount of work that goes into that stuff. You just see the photos and you just see the little reels, and you're not getting the full picture. And there's oftentimes a ton of work that goes into what you see. And perception is reality. So what we see is what we believe. And that's why things like faith are kind of hard, because you can't really see it. You got to feel it, and you got to be open to it. But the real matter of fact is that you're going to have to work hard, and you're going to have to fall on your face multiple times, and you're going to have nobody view your videos, and you're going to have people not care about what you say, and understand that that's okay. And over time you're going to get better and better and better, and that these videos that I'm making even today, they're not going to get views. And I'm not doing it for the views. I'm doing it so I can actually get better, so I can catch myself with my own flaws. And that's why I think today is all about building your brand. Today is all about the individual becoming the best version of themselves. Society has changed quite a bit, and we might revert back to the way things used to be with kings and queens at some point as well, because this American experiment is exactly just that. It's an experiment, and who knows how long it can potentially last. Hopefully it lasts for a very long time, because I think that it is the best system. Capitalism is a good system, but it's not a perfect system, and no system is that we know of quite yet, because there's also a lot of corruption in capitalism as well, and everybody's becoming more and more aware of that. And so what is the answer? The answer at the end of the day is, I cannot change who becomes president. I cannot change who are these elected officials and politicians and all that stuff. You can go run for office or whatever if that's what you want to go do, but overall it's a massive machine that's probably not going to get any better, at least anytime soon. Something fundamentally drastic would have to change in order for that to happen. And basically you'd have to replace everyone that's currently in it, so it's a new system almost. And I don't think that that's going to happen, and that's not what I'm advocating for by any means. But what I am advocating for is individual sovereignty, individual empowerment. And what that requires is you to not rely on the government, you not to rely on even your family. It's really, you have to rely on yourself if you're completely capable. So you have to acknowledge, are you a capable human being? Some people are not. Some people don't have the mental capacity. Some people have disabilities. And so those people, even though they could probably do more than what they may be right now, there may be limitations. If you are a person who believes that if you put your whole heart behind something, there are no limits, there are no limitations, then that's who this video is for. You have to find out what your purpose is. My belief is that we all have a similar purpose as far as the fundamental level, and that is to become the best version of yourself, to become your best. And how do you do that? Well, you have to really start analyzing every area of your life. And I put it in the 5 foundations. It's your faith, it's your family, it's your fitness, both health and mental health. It is your financial literacy, and it's your friends. It's your network of people that you know. And basically, are the people that you surround yourself, are they assets or liabilities? Now, faith is pretty much this simple. If God isn't number one, then the devil is. And I don't know how to make it more clear than that. You have to put God first and trust in something. Whatever your religion is, it doesn't really matter. What matters is, do you believe in God? And if so, are you having conversations with God, or are you just ignoring him? Are you connecting with God and trying to tap into that divine power and strength that the universe or God is providing you, and becoming the best version of yourself? You know what you need to do. You need to eat healthy. You need to get your physically fit. You need to get your mind straight so you're not all jacked up and messed up from stuff that happened from your childhood, or traumas and all that stuff that holds people back. You need to let go and forgive. And you really need to find out how you can make more money and start executing. Ideas are great. Idea generators, there's people out in the world that are idea generators, and I think that they're great. However, good ideas don't mean anything. You have to put it into execution. And that is something that is difficult. I mean, it's not easy. It's never going to be easy. So make it worthwhile. Instead of thinking short term on everything, well, how much are we going to make this week, or how much are we going to make this month? Start looking and projecting out 5 years out. Okay, who's the person that I want to become in 5 years from now? What does that person look like? How do they dress? Where do they live? What car do they drive? What does their spouse look like? How fit are they? What kind of clothes do they wear? You know what I mean? Like, you just go through that list and you identify, you create your ideal self, and then you start acting. How do they act? Are they a bitch? Are they cool, calm, and collected? Do they inspire other people, or do they just care about themselves? And those are the questions that you have to go through and ask yourself, and really just start to believe in yourself. You know what I've found is that I oftentimes believe in other people more than they believe in themselves. And I think that is that says a lot. One, people oftentimes don't see their potential and their greatness. They see their flaws. And I think that's important. You need to be able to see what your flaws are. That's why I'm recording myself right now, talking, because I'm trying to get the ideas that I have in my head more clear and concise. I'm trying to sharpen my sword, basically. I'm trying to stop saying the ums and the ahs and all those flaws that we have as human beings, that they hold us back. They make you sound like a little bitch, make you sound scared. And I want to speak with more confidence, and I want to be vulnerable too. Wes Watson said something that really struck me, and it was, hard people are just hurt. And I thought about all the people who are hard in my life, and I couldn't agree more. They're just hurt individuals. There's nothing hard about them. They're just hurt. And they mask their problems through drugs and alcohol. You got to drop the drink. You got to drop the smoke. You got to drop the things that are holding you back. And they're holding you back. The weed is holding you back. The drink is holding you back. All that stuff is holding you back. It gives a false sense of confidence in the moment, and then the next day you're depleted, brain dead. It gives you inspiration in the moment, and then you forgot. And you just forget. Don't let the people around you sway you away from your goals. That's why it's like your friend, your friends, your network. It really does equal your net worth. Because you're going to influence each other. And if you're surrounding yourself with just a bunch of people from the bar, you know, broken people go to bars. And broken people come from broken homes. And if you just do that, you're going to be a broken individual. I don't want you to be broken. I want you to have a closer relationship with God. I want you to have a better relationship with your spouse. I want you to be closer with your children. I want you to make more money. And I want you to be in the best shape that you can possibly be. And I want you to live a life full of purpose. And my belief is that if you don't know what your purpose is today, your purpose is to become the best self, the best version of yourself, because it's the success equation. If you are prepared and then you meet the opportunity, that equals success. The opportunities are going to come around in our life, but we are not prepared to take a hold of them, and that's why we miss them. And if you know anything about finances, then you know that things are cyclical, meaning there's a cycle behind them. You know that every 10, 14 years, there's an up and down in the market. And that in between those 10 and 14 years, there's little ups and downs. And so there's an inflow and there's an outflow. There's an expansion and a contraction period. And in life, it's kind of like the ocean, the in and out of the ocean. And the only thing you can do is put in the work and be prepared for the opportunity when it comes, so you don't drop the ball. How do you do that? Well, first you have to be clear and concise. And you have to get right with God. You have to forgive and ask for forgiveness, so you're not carrying that burden around with you. All that shit that is holding you back, you have to let go of that. You have to drop it, so you're free and you have courage. Because you don't have skeletons in your closet. Because you don't have dark secrets. And that's how you do it. Is you have to let go of all the shit that's holding you back, so you can move forward. And then there's no back steps. And you have to get other people to start believing in you. And you don't do that by telling them, you do that by showing them. You can't, if you have kids, you're gonna find this out, because there's a saying, it's funny. There's this saying that says, I was a really good parent before I had kids. And it's true. If you don't have kids, you're judgy about other parents and other kids and stuff like that. Because you see, like, oh, why don't they, discipline their child? And it's a much more difficult thing than you realize until you have your own. And you start to see that kids don't listen to you. They watch what you do. They're consistently watching you. Even though you might think that they're not. Even though you might think that they're not listening, they are. And they're observing your actions. Every single one of them. Your facial expressions, all that stuff. And so they are not going to... They're their true selves. And so there's a wisdom about children that adults can actually use, and they see through things that adults will not see through because of society and because of the way things that we've been brainwashed or trained. And so kids are great because they can see through. It's like the emperor wears no clothes, that story. And that's the beauty of it. But it's difficult at the same time because you have things that you need the kids to do because they also don't understand that there's structure and rules and bedtimes and things that they need to do, that you need them to do. That is beneficial for them. Eating a box of candy isn't beneficial for your child. So, you got to nurture them, but at the same time, understand that they're watching you, just like your people at work are watching you. And it doesn't matter if you're in a leadership position or not, or a management position. That doesn't matter. You have to manage yourself. Other people will take notice and notice your discipline, your consistency, your good attitude, work ethic. Other people will take notice. You will take notice, and your life can change in a year. It's not going to change in a month. It's going to take a year. It's going to take 2 years. It might take 5 years. If you're building a business, it's going to take you 5 years, at least, to get to the place that you may want to be. And so it's about consistency. So think more long term instead of the short term. That's it. Peace.